gangster.
Welcome to the Blaize interview. My name is Blaize, and this is
Sam Howard.
The great Sam Howard, who's one of my favorite comics, who is taking about like 3 months to get you on the podcast.
Yeah, we rescheduled 5,000 times.
Yes, she's one of the busiest women in comedy in Hollywood. She's a comic, an actress. She's just about to join the union.
Union strong. Thank you, Labor Day. This is a Labor Day inspiration.
Labor Day inspiration.
Yeah. And Audrey Moore, if you're an actor, you should listen to Audrey Helps Actors podcast also.
I've heard of it. I haven't heard it.
You haven't heard it?
I have it. I've heard it. I would say you're probably the third person to speak on that.
Oh, third time's the charm.
And once you hear the third time, you gotta listen to something. You gotta like, you know what? But Sam, what's the difficulty for you? Like, you're doing like literally 4 things a day. You have, obviously you have comedy, you have acting, then you have your kid, and then you have to just be yourself, be your own person. Yeah. Like, how do you juggle your lifestyle and what you do?
I'm getting better at this. It's hard because I always feel like shit every time I can't show up to something that I commit to. So I try really hard to undercommit and like set boundaries and just be honest with myself. If I need to sleep, I'm like, sorry, I just have to do this. I have to take care of myself.
Yes.
Because if I try to push too much and do everything that I would like to be able to do, and that when I'm first planning, I'm like, yeah, I can fit all these things into one day, and then I'm like, I can't.
No, and I feel the same way with you, like, especially because with my work, I do a lot of in-home work, and I do a lot of work where I travel. So I have one client in Koreatown, and then after that, I have a client in Pasadena. So you have to think about, like, okay, if I see this first client at 11 o'clock, then I gotta leave out space for traffic and just to sit down.
And just managing your own energy.
Yeah, like your flow.
Yeah.
Because there's been times where I have to nap.
Yeah.
Because if I don't nap, I will luckily where I work at right now at a spa in Atwater Village, it's we get 30 minutes in between clients. So I'm lucky that sometimes I have like an extra 10 minutes in between clients. So I'll lock the door and I'll start. If their appointments at 3 o'clock, bitch, you getting in the door at 3 o'clock. Like I'm not
early.
Nah, I'm gonna take some time for myself because you know what, you're gonna benefit from it.
Absolutely. I think that's what people don't realize. Like it's the same with parenting. Like the more selfish I am, the better I am at taking care of myself, the better of a mom I am.
Yes.
The more time I have to myself, the more present I am when I'm with Jack instead of it, me just trying to be everything all the time.
I mean, it's hard. We have whether you have a kid or you don't have a kid, you have to just be able to just meditate. I remember I actually in college I had to give a presentation for a whole bunch of kids who were coming freshmen, incoming freshmen, because I was part of the student body government. And the one thing I stressed is just keep an agenda. Just whatever you're doing, get a big calendar, write everything down. Like, I have class from 1 to 3. Write it every day. You know you have class 1 to 3. Just write it. So that way, it's always there. Always look at the calendar. And not only that, schedule in nap time.
Yep.
And the funny part is they all laughed at me. And they all laughed at me. And I said, look, no. Y'all think it's funny, but I schedule nap time at least once a day.
Yeah.
And it really just makes me feel more,
Yeah.
I'm more in tune with what I'm doing. Like, my brain's less foggy.
What's that thing Gandhi said? He was like, all his, he has like an entourage, or he had one. Got people that helped him schedule all his stuff and all his little talks and whatever he did. I think it's Gandhi. Maybe it's another one. I don't know. One of the guys that does good stuff, Well, anyway, whoever it is, he's known for, he meditates 1 hour a day. But then his people would be like, Gandhi, you gotta, or whoever you are, we got to cut it to a little bit less because we have so much going on this week. So you got to do less meditation. And he was like, no, we have so much going on, so I need to do more meditation. So it's just like the more you have going on, the more you need to rest.
Yes.
And it's that whole thing of just like slowing down. Like that's everything. Just slow down. And
being in LA, it's just like everything's so fast paced. Everyone's like trying to get something done yesterday.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what you're doing in life, what business you're in, if you're in tech, if you're in Hollywood. A lot of times people want things now.
Yeah.
My parents work in construction and you tell people it's like it's gonna take 3 weeks to finish. A week and a half later it's like, how much longer you guys got? And it's like another week and a half, dude. We told you this is how long it's gonna take. You're like, it's a process. If you want things done right, you gotta like realize that it takes time, because a lot like on my podcast, it takes a little bit longer to release it after you record it, partly because I have to fix the audio and I have to fix the little things here and there, and there's more things that I want to do, and I'm really trying to make the podcast better as best as I can. But it's a slow process. I understand that I can't expect my product to be the best right now. I feel a lot of folks, they want to be 25 with 25 mil in the bank with 25 million followers with 25-inch rims.
No, you're a whole person. You're not just all of that.
Yeah.
All of those expectations. Yeah. There's no rush. Nature doesn't rush, It takes how many fucking years to build a tree or make a tree?
Make a tree.
Just let it go.
Just let it grow.
And and it just happens so magically. So I think it is just kind of the more we can just walk and look at flowers and.
Yeah, because I see a lot of these comics. They're doing a lot, especially a lot of newer comics. They're doing a lot of these showcases and all these other things sooner now than I saw before COVID. Because before COVID, I felt like a lot more comics were okay, I can try and take my time before I hit the big club. Yeah. I feel a lot of these younger comics are coming out after COVID. They're like, oh, I'm hitting the big club now.
Yeah.
And you see them, and they're doing. Some of them are doing really good. Some of them are stumbling. Some of them are just flatlining.
Yeah.
So it's really good to see just how
I have a hard time deciphering with that because I'm a new comic. I've been doing it now for a year plus a few weeks. Yeah. Or a year and a month. 1 year and 1 month. Nice. In September, because it's September 5th, 6th now?
6th today.
Yeah, so then 1 year and 4 days. 1 year, 1 month, and 4 days.
Where was your first one?
So technically, I tried to start right the year I got knocked up. That's when so 2018 is when I wanted to start comedy, but I started.
You're gonna pull an Ali Long?
I was, yeah. She was very inspiring to me. I feel that. But I didn't know that I was pregnant, so then I did 2 weeks of hardcore open mics everywhere.
Nice.
I was in a class called Pretty Funny Women.
Oh, yeah. Remy Escobar was in it.
Oh, probably, yeah. A lot of people have gone through that.
Yeah, and then you guys did a show at the La Jolla in Hollywood store in La Jolla? Or is it a comedy store?
Maybe. I did the class for literally 2 weeks because then once I found out I was knocked up, I was I couldn't take my narcolepsy medication anymore. And I already, when you're pregnant, you're building a person, so you're really tired all the time. Plus, I have narcolepsy with no medication at the time, so I just hibernated for 9 months. I didn't do anything at all. Ooh. And so I had I'd started stand up and then sort of just not. It was a non-starter because I couldn't really. I just couldn't.
You were just tired.
I was just so tired. Yeah. All I did was eat Jack in the Box and.
so much it's funny, Jack in the Box and Jack.
That's right. That's why I named him that.
That's right. That's right. I remember you used that in your set.
Yeah. Jack in my box. It's true though. It's actually I ate it so much and I was just I love the name Jack. I should name him. But then I felt weird naming him after a fast food restaurant.
Well, technically it's not named after a fast food restaurant. It's named after the owner, Jack.
Oh yeah, it could be named after Haha Jack too. Yeah.
Haha
right.
Jack. Or
a lot of good Jacks.
There's a lot of good Jacks.
Jack Kale, isn't that a name? Isn't that somebody?
There's a football player, Jack Youngblood.
There you go. Oh, Youngblood.
Right?
Oh, damn.
That's a really good name. That's a really good. Some people have really good. I'm lucky I have a good name. But Sam Howard.
Oh, that's a good name.
It's a great name. It's a strong.
I should be the president. I feel that's a good president. I don't want to be. That's too much stress, and I got to sleep more than they do. But,
yeah, honestly. You're the type of person, even if you didn't do comedy, if you didn't do acting, if you wanted to be a lawyer or if you wanted to be a doctor, you were one of those people that, no matter what I see, you'd be successful in it just because you're just a hard worker and a good person.
Thanks,
you every time I see you on stage, it's it's you can see, the kind of effort you put onto it. And you really try. I love you.
I know, I'm such an overachiever. I'm it's so funny because I feel like I've had, I'm 35. So nice. I don't have 35 mil in the bank or 35 rims or whatever. But it's I don't care, kind of. I'm okay with I've been on food stamps and but I've never stopped working my ass off. I'm just always trying to figure out what my dreams are and then follow them. And
what was your first dream?
My first dream, I wanted to be a French teacher.
Okay.
Because I did. So I took French classes. I took college French classes with my grandma over the summers because we were preparing to go to France together when I graduated from high school. And then I loved my French teacher. I forgot her name. Miss Needham, is that her name? Oh, I can't remember. But she was so cool and a beautiful older woman. And I just was I can't wait to be an old, beautiful woman. I think I've always felt I want to either be Orphan Annie or Mrs. Hannigan. I just love which Miss Hannigan isn't necessarily beautiful, but she's this broad of just, I don't know. She's the
broad.
She's a broad, an old broad.
An old broad is broad.
I love broad.
I hope your style of talking always reminds me of a 1920 Chicago Mafia member.
Oh my God,
you're this broad. If you came in with a suit, a hat, the suit with a hat with a cigar in your mouth, I'd be yeah, she killed man.
We should do that sketch. I would love that. You know that I thought I smoked a cigar yesterday or 2 days ago, and it was a what is it called? Fat Blunt. That's what it was.
Oh.
And I didn't know it.
All right, where were you? And what happened?
Sunset. I was at Sunset Boulevard, Sunset.
Rooftop?
What's that rooftop show that Baca does?
Yeah.
So I'm at. He was here. I saw on.
Yeah, he's been on here before. He's great. He was great.
I love him so much. He's a fucking mess, but Baca. I love him deeply.
Every time I do a Baca show, I always like to say it's comedy roulette. Just.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. You're just waiting. And
these shows on Sunset have been so much, like, the audience is great. It's
really actually been picking up. Like, I'm actually surprised because, like, before we used to do the Sunset, and there's like, but now that we do the Sunset, there's like packs of people. Even the Sunday show.
Yep, the Sunday show is what I've done so far. I think this week I'm going to do Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
He asked me this morning, and I was like, I'm busy. Sorry.
Oh, you're busy.
I am. I got to do some recording, and then I'm leaving for the this Monday. I'm actually going to New York for the first time.
Whoa!
I'm going for a week.
Just to visit?
Me, myself, and I.
And are you going to try to do stand-up and stuff?
I'm going to do some there. I've already reached out to some people. I'm just mainly just going to do mics and just make some connections, just talk to people.
Do you think you want to live there for a little bit?
Let's not get too hasty now.
No?
Because to a T, it's funny, whenever I told anyone who's from New York that I was going to New York, there's two things they told me. They said, oh, it's going to be a great time to go because the weather's not going to be too hot and it's not going to be too cold. So I was like, all right, cool. That sounds... And he says, also a good time because it's right after the summer's ending, so the subway's not going to smell like piss too much. Okay. And it's right before the winter time, so it's not going to smell like shit as much.
Very good.
And I was like, you know what? I picked a great time.
Right. To not be sold on New York.
to get sold on New York. I mean, like, it's hot, muggy. I know. I mean, you're from whatever. Every time I think of New York, I always think of like just being a rat in like one of those like rat houses, just like everyone on top of each other. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the buildings don't have stairs. I mean, a lot of buildings don't have stairs out here, but to be fair, most buildings here maximum are like four stories.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's very, very few buildings unless you're in like a downtown area. But those places have they have elevators.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go up 2 flights of stairs, no problem. But
having to go all the way.
We had in college. I went to University of Hawaii, so we had the two towers, the Waimea.
Never forget towers or different.
They're called Waimea towers. So there's pretty much just these two towers where people were, the dorms, and they're both about 14 stories tall. Mm-hmm. And one semester, my friend, he lived all the way in the top, all the way in the top. It was a nice spot, but they had two elevators. Mm-hmm. One broke. They didn't even try and fix that one.
Oh, man. So the whole semester is just...
Second part, halfway through the first semester...
No!
The second one broke.
Oh, man.
So...
You got some exercise.
No. He said he did not leave his room for the rest of the year until, like, the only time he would come down was, like, once a day. Like, that was
just... What about class?
He didn't care.
He just didn't go to class?
He just didn't go to class. He just went to class when they had tests.
See, that's, like, to me... That blows because I'm such an overachiever. Yeah. I'm like, even if I like think about doing something that's bad or like outside of the rules or whatever, I like apologize for. I'm like, so sorry that I thought about whatever. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I hate like inconveniencing people.
Yeah,
like,
one thing I hate showing up late to something I commit to.
Yeah.
Like if like they says be there at 8 and I'm like there at 8:05, I'm like, hey man, sorry I'm so late.
Yeah, I've noticed you're always on time and early for stuff.
Yeah. I prefer because I'm always just worried. I always just don't like to be late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be rude. I feel like some people, they show up to the mic like at the last minute. I'm like, bro, who the fuck?
Well, I always tell whoever if I have to be late for something, it's because of like another show or babysitter or whatever. So I always communicate it. But that's part of what I've tried to be like kinder about myself with. It's just like I don't have to be. I am respecting people's time, and also I have to like. Respect my own. And I'm a bit of a mess.
I mean, you're a pretty cleaned up mess. I mean, if anything, you're the mess in the corner. Like when you have someone come over,
a contained mess.
You throw it all in the closet. That's pretty much your.
It's we know it's there, but it still looks nice. So okay, I like that.
It's like how I had my laundry and I just shoved it over there off camera. Yeah. We'll finish it afterwards. But right now, the people don't even know. It's the illusion.
I hide mine under the rug.
That's a pretty tall rug.
Hey, I have an eye mask, a sleep mask like that. That's a Van Gogh, right? Yeah.
This?
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is. My roommate got it.
It is. It's
I just thought it looked cool.
It's so cool.
But yeah, he got that one.
And that's Tyler, the Creator, right?
That one's Tyler. That one's off camera over here. This one's Nipsey Hussle. That one's I want to say painting. I got that at a Baca show. I've got a lot of good stuff at Baca shows. I got a few like.
I didn't know you had art at any shows?
Sometimes he's had some artists show up. He's had a few people who sell T-shirts. There's one dude sells Kanye West T-shirts. I was just like,
I did buy something. I bought some. I've been dripping.
I got some. I've been dripping. I got the shorts.
So cozy.
I got the shorts.
Shorts. Yeah.
Yeah, the shorts are pretty good. They're
great for especially for lifting and stuff.
Yes.
When you need that
that
extra,
little. I honestly I like to work out in a little bit looser clothes, but I don't like to work out in sweats.
Oh yeah, because especially if you're outside. Well, I guess
outside. I go to Planet Fitness.
Okay, sponsored by.
Sponsored by. Actually, I'm sponsoring them, bitch.
Yeah, you're paying for them.
I'm paying for them and giving them a shout out. Honestly, the only reason why is because it's $10.
Oh, that's good.
I kind of hate it because I'm more of a free weight kind of guy. I love the barbell.
Yeah.
I want to. If I could do all my work exercise, front, back.
So just get a barbell here and do it.
And put it where?
Oh, true. Good point.
I mean,
see where? Not on that little porch out there.
Not on the little porch. I mean, it's just hard. It's just hard. I mean, it's.
But it'd be funny to see you try to work out with a barbell on that little porch.
I would not fit on that. Like, I try and go on that porch. Like, I barely fit on that porch. I try to get a chair to sit out there. I was like, this isn't working.
If you were in New York, you could rent that out and somebody would take it.
That
could be their room.
You know what? This is LA. I could probably do that here for like $200.
Yeah.
Just put a little tent on top.
That would be great.
You have access to a bathroom and a kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have to make sure to cuddle with a dog once in a while.
Oh, it'd be so nice. Yeah.
I don't know. Lucy's is a little jealous bitch though. She doesn't like to share too much. Like I was, whenever I take her to the dog park, I kind of hate it because when I take her there, she makes a circle around me and she keeps other dogs from playing with me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's
so
a jealous
controlling.
bitch. Yes.
Yeah.
So she will literally get her paws and push a dog. Like I was petting this a big dog, right? It was a husky. I was petting the husky, and then she literally starts pushing the husky by the neck and just get out, get out.
So would you rather have a control freak of a partner or a cuck who's wants you to watch you fuck other whatever?
As in my relationship with a woman?
Yeah, just or with a dog, whatever you want. Here's why I'm asking. Let me explain. That
was just random.
My brain was too random. So,
okay.
So my kid, I've been trying to work out a joke where I call him a cuck lately because but not for fucking, but for motherhood. Because he does this thing. He has all these squishy bowling pins that he'll hurt them. He'll make them fall, and then he'll take care of them like he's a doctor, and it's very cute. He has doctor tools, and he'll fix them up and do an X-ray and a whole thing. And then he'll ask me to be their mommy. He'll say, can you mommy them? And I'm like, oh, he wants to watch me mother another thing like a cuck.
Wow.
That's really inappropriate?
That's pretty good, but it's that's impressive. So, it reminds me of because I thought you were gonna say your princess.
Oh yeah, his princess fetish.
His princess fetish. I'm like, damn. I thought you were gonna go into the princess fetish first, and then you were like,
careful with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope this doesn't mess him up that I talk like this about him.
I mean, he's not really gonna know.
Yeah, he's not really gonna know unless sometimes he's in my shows, But usually I keep it.
I remember he was in the show that one time when we did the deadpan. He came up.
Yeah, he came up.
But it was pretty funny. I mean, he's
got good comedic timing and sensibilities. I think
he gets it from his mother.
Well, and his father. His dad's a comic too.
He is. I didn't know that.
That's how. So I think that's part of why. We broke up in 2020, and I started doing it in 2018. For that 2 weeks. But I think I really part of me, even though I did love him truly, but I think part of the purpose of our relationship was because I was meant to do this, and I just for some reason I just took my time getting here.
But there's nothing wrong. Like I said, 25, 35 don't matter.
Yeah.
It's just what I say is people. Samuel Jackson wasn't famous until he was in his 50s. A lot of comics aren't famous until their 40s or 50s. So
I don't care about being famous. I think it's just it'd be nice to make a living doing this, and it's just nice to have finally kind of admitted that I love it so much.
I get
because I was obsessed. I went to New York I used to work in advertising.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
I still do sometimes. I do contract work.
Nice.
So I got to go work for American Express. We had a new client. I got to do their Serve account, which is their mobile wallet. Before everybody had a mobile wallet.
Yeah.
So I went to New York for 2 months for work, and I spent most of my time just watching stand-up. I was obsessed with it, but I never realized, I never connected I could do this. Even though I was watching Hole in the Wall open mics till 4 a.m., I didn't connect that I could do it.
Yeah.
And then there were all these moments like that. I loved I was in the student activities board in college,
Mm-hmm.
and we would bring comics on stage, and I lied to a friend who loved Dimitri Martin, and I was like, oh yeah, I dated him. Like, I just pretended like I dated him because I had a photo with him from when he came to our school, and I just like. And I love doing stuff like that. Like, I've always done, like, I just lie to people.
I like how you kept
fun.
it like clean still. Like, oh, I dated him instead of, oh, I just fucked him.
Right. No, yeah, we had a whole relationship.
We had a whole relationship. It was a month long, but you know what?
Yeah.
There's some emotion. Like, it wasn't just a one night stand.
Exactly.
We had some really connection.
Well, I didn't have sex at that time. I was very non-sexual. I was like so scared of premarital sex and like any kind of stuff like that. So
and then Jack happened.
Well, Jack, you know how Jack happened? Condom got stuck inside of me.
Oh.
Because my pussy grows back. That's hey. And my baby daddy is super Catholic. So we were together for 7 years, but he felt very guilty about sex.
Priest too? 7 years? Wait, so if you're comfortable answering,
go ahead.
how long was in the relationship before you guys had sex?
Really soon we started. Because I was sexually active.
Okay.
Like, I sort of like come to terms with my religious upbringing and my views on sex.
So, but at that time, you had gone over that.
At that point, I was like pretty sexually liberated.
Okay.
But he wasn't, and he's like 5 years older than me. So it was like it was just like it felt like we were my first boyfriend, my first love in college. We always felt guilty every time we fooled around. It was just like, oh, we shouldn't do this. And my high school boyfriend too. It was always a guilty thing. But I took a bunch of theology classes about like sex, gender, and Christian ethics, and I came to terms with like, I think our bodies are incredible, and I think that I don't know what I think about God, for sure, like the God in the Christian narrative, but I think there's some kind of magical thing happening, because life is incredible, and like there's connection that's beautiful, and And part of that is the fucking clitoris. Like, the fact that I can experience that level of pleasure is amazing. And I'm like, why would that be a negative? Why would that be a sin? Like, it's just such a weird, controlling thing, I think. So.
No, I get that. Because actually I was thinking, because I'm talking to this one woman right now, and she actually has me reading a book. So you know what's really crazy? When a woman has a man reading a book, you're like, okay.
Yeah. I tried to make Michael do that, my baby daddy, because he felt so guilty about sex. So I was like, oh, read these theology books that I write, and we won't have sex, we'll just talk about it. But he was like, nah, I'd rather have sex and feel guilty.
Like a real man.
Right?
Like a real man.
I think he has a confession kink. That's what I think it is. I think he just likes to like brag to priests about it.
It's like, man, you should have seen the positions we were in. We got a PM to AM. It was just
very boring. It was a very wholesome, like, our sex life was just so like lovely.
Yeah,
it was just so like we almost always cried. And he finished very quickly.
Well, that's part of the thing about this book that I'm reading. It's called "She Comes First."
Yeah.
So it's about. Have you read it or heard it?
No, but I agree with it already.
Yes. So it's written by this sex doctor / like relationship doctor therapist, sex therapist, I should say. Ian Kerner or something like that. I forget right now. But basically, his problem is he suffered from pre-ejaculation. Like, he couldn't last a long time. So the only way he would be able to make a woman orgasm is with his tongue or with his hands. So for years and years and years, he was, suffering with suffering with how to do it. And like, finally he made a woman orgasm by the first time with his tongue. And it's just the thing that really stuck out to me in this book was like, we're just not really giving enough attention for women not doing it right. Because like, for men, it's a lot easier. Because the thing I'm actually making into a joke right now is it takes men an average of 7 minutes to orgasm from oral. Yeah. But for women, on average, it takes 21 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was like 45 minutes, but it's
on average.
Okay, average. Yeah.
Average. For some women,
I'm on the slow end. Yeah.
No, you're on the long end.
The long end. Yeah. Yeah. Slow. Takes me a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. So what he said is like, you got to make it more of a like, because I suffer for two, like, because reading the book, I know I started. It's like, take your time. Take your time. And a lot of men, we don't like to take our time.
Yeah. Well, you see a boob and it's like, like, it's,
And like, even like reading, it's like 21 minutes. Like, so that makes me realize that men aren't just eating pussy long enough.
Yeah.
Like, we eat, I'm starting a new campaign, #eat pussy longer.
That's great. Eat pussy longer. That will make America great again.
Yes.
I think
once
not again, but for the first time.
If we can make every woman orgasm, I think that's what would make America great. When every woman's...
I mean, I feel like women should be... I feel like we are truly goddesses. Like, our men are fine, but women, the resilience and the fact that our bodies I can't believe that I can create a human. Not that every woman should have to, but like just the fact that I can is like I don't know why I'm not being worshipped all the time and why I'm not being constantly offered oral sex. Like that should be like just what we get all the time. That should be part of health insurance, honestly.
Actually, funny you say that because one I want to say her name was Wu Zhang. I forget, but it was Wu. Empress Wu. She was an empress for the Chinese kingdom. I forget what dynasty, but it's like in the early 14th, 13th century. And every time there's actually a huge mural of it. I want to get it painted and have it framed on my wall. But every time like a nobleman or some priest had to come visit her, they all had to get on their knees and perform and give her oral sex.
Oh my god, that's so great.
That's so great, isn't it? That's so amazing. I mean, like...
I like it in theory. It's so complicated because there is, like, emotions involved, but I don't know if it always was the case.
Like, I mean, think of it like this. Like, for men, it's kind of like, it's a power move. You know what I mean? It's like, for men, like... Yeah. I mean, for some folks, like...
suck my dick. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what is it? Is it not pansexual? It's, not asexual. It's like you're only sexually attracted to people that you're, like, emotionally attracted to.
Oh, that sounds healthy.
Yeah, like they don't, like some folks, they don't get sexually charged unless they're first emotionally connected to you. Some folks are like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so
Jamie, can you Google that for us?
Hey Google, what is it called when you are only sexual? Oh. Hey Google, what is it called when you are only sexually attracted to people you are emotionally connected to?
According to Cleveland Clinic, demisexuality is a sexual orientation in which a person feels sexually attracted to someone only after they've developed a close emotional bond with them.
Yes, so that's
I'm
what it is.
I'm going to send this to my friend Demi, and I think this is about you.
But yeah, so basically, and I know a few people like that. Like, I know one woman, she's like 36 and she's only had intercourse with 2 folks.
Yeah.
And she says, like, I just, like, unless I like have a deep connection with that person, I'm just not sexually attracted to them.
Yeah.
And that's for some folks. It's like, I don't give a fuck if it's, you know, if it's got 2 legs and a mouth, that's all I need.
Yeah, I think I've sort of like had a journey with that. Like once I sort of felt more sexually liberated and comfortable with, like, I'm not going to go to hell or burn in hell if I suck this dick. Well, actually with giving oral, I feel like I have to, like, be in love basically to do that. Like I have to be very, like, feel very connected to the person, and like it's a gift and not a power move. Like I can't feel like they are overpowering me. It has to feel like this is a gift I'm giving you and not this, like, I don't want anyone to, like, do my head, whatever. Like, I'm just like, nope, I'm in charge here. That's because I'm a control freak, I guess, maybe. But I think now, I noticed because I had this whole weekend without Jack, because he was with his dad for Labor Day weekend. And there were like 3 different instances where I was like, oh, in my younger years, I would have probably hooked up with this guy and this guy and this guy. Like, it was, and then it happened
every day. 3 different dudes, 3 each day.
Well, no, I probably would have. I mean, I would have picked one. But
you would have picked one. Okay.
I just know, and I've noticed that a lot recently. Like, I was in Chicago, and this beautiful man, we did karaoke, and he approached me very, very directly and offered to give me oral for a very long time, and said things that were like, I was like, oh, I would love that. But I would rather just go home and hang out with my friends. Like, it was just like, and then this weekend it was like, I'd rather go home and go to sleep and then wake up for CrossFit in the morning. It was just like, I've become this very lame, responsible person who's just like, yeah, I'll just have a drink if I have anything.
But what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong, but it's funny. So it feels like I am now more demisexual than I used to be.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I don't even know if I have the capacity. I'm still probably pretty heartbroken about my ex. Like, I think just the idea of, like, we were together for 7 years. Yeah. We were engaged for 1 year. Oof. We made a baby together, and having this, like, you know, just your family.
I had the opposite. So it's a funny story. Yeah. Our lives are kind of parallel. Ooh. Right? I just realized that. So because you said you used to date a comic, so before I got a comedy, I used to date a comic too. Okay. Right? Yeah. And so
they penetrated you with more than just. I don't know if they penetrated you. I don't know what you're into. It's fine. I don't judge.
But. She tried.
She pegged you.
She tried. I'm not really into the whole butt stuff.
I know, me neither.
It's not my thing. Like, I'm not really into eating ass. I'm not really into, like...
Have you tried it, though?
Eating it?
Yeah.
Only went 2 times. Either when they're in the shower or right after they get out of the shower.
Okay.
That's it. Because, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Even then, I don't know. I've never felt pleasure there, but maybe I would.
It's not for me. It's just not. It's for some people, like some people, they like their ears kissed. Some people are licked. Some people don't like their ears licked. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some people like to be bit. Some people don't like to be. Some people like to be choked. Some people don't like to be choked. It's everyone's different. You know what I mean?
Different, yeah.
But for
you're with this comic.
So I was dating this comic. So I started doing a little bit of comedy like as we were dating, and then the reason I stopped was because my family. They pulled up and surprised me one day at college, and they came and see me on my set, and I had been doing comedy for like 2-3 months.
Oh yeah.
And after that, I stopped. I was just like,
yeah.
But it was good. It was all right.
Were they like? Is your family supportive, or like was it?
They're Mexican, so no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, similar Pentecostals.
Yeah,
white people, but just I don't let my parents.
But yeah, so instead, you ended up keeping the kid. We ended up not keeping the kid.
Gotcha.
So that happened, and then I didn't really start like you again. I started picking up COVID again during comedy during COVID. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, that's just interesting though. Our lives are kind of like similar and different. Yeah. But we were dating for 5 years, so 2 years younger than you.
Time, yeah.
Yeah. So I actually had even planned out the day I was going to propose to her and the day we were going to marry. So I had planned it out 4 years before I had planned to propose to her.
What didn't work?
We grew apart. You know what I mean? It's like we were just like 2 trees. We just grew alongside each other, next to each other in the pot. But then after a while, we realized it just wasn't working. And you know what? I'm happy for it. Yeah. Because I realized towards the end of it, I still loved her, but I wasn't satisfied. Yeah. And it kind of got to this point where like, if I would have loved the kid, I would regardless, and I would have, but I knew for a fact I would have grown to loathe her. Yeah. My love would have turned to loathe. Okay. Because like the way we argue, the way we talk, and part of it is because like I was kind of a little scared. You know what I mean? I was, in my personal opinion, like I was fearful of her anger. Okay. You know what I mean? Because I've always been, even though I'm a big guy, the women in my life are always a big part of my life, and like they're like whatever my woman says, it's like. So
you're a little bit more passive in your relationship.
Yeah, I'm more passive. Yeah. Even though I'm very, very aggressive, and I make a lot of the choices. Yeah. Very times I'm a little bit more passive. I'm more willing to.
Is your mother like you're attracted to people like usually you're attracted to people who are like your caregivers?
Yes, well I guess yeah.
It's like an imago match, so it's.
I get that. Yeah. I mean, I'm more into like independent, strong women. Most of my like. The people I look up to are mainly women. Like the people are my mothers, my sisters, my teachers. A lot of my teachers are women, and I learned so much from them. Yeah. And so for me, it's just like I have so much respect for women that like even when I date women, I always ask, it's like, can I kiss you? Yeah, like I always ask, like, can I kiss you? Can I when we start getting frisky, it's like, can I take your shirt off? Like I'm always
consent.
Very consent based,
direct too.
Direct, because I'm always like, can I kiss you? And if they say no, it's like okay, it's fine. Because I'm always kind of like because of the Me Too, but because I'm always just like I don't want a woman thinking I'm coming on too forceful. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm always very quick.
Yeah, you're aware that you are a big guy.
Yeah.
And you could be like
It could appear that people are uncomfortable. So I try to, and because I'm not sure if you know, but I actually have Asperger's. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So for me, I've had a lot of times where I think what I said and did in an instance was appropriate. Yeah. But from the views of other folks, it's not appropriate. Yeah. So it's kind of like I'm always a lot of times with like especially with the women in my life, I'm always half stepping with them. Yeah. I'm always like I wanna because no one wants to get in a fight when you're with someone that you love. Yeah. Yeah. And so it's kind of like I don't want to get in a fight with this person. Because I was just fearful of getting in a fight with this person, and you have to. I have had to have learned how to try and get past that. Yeah. Even this one chick I'm talking to, I'm leaving for New York on Monday, and I was trying to say, oh, I'm leaving Monday, so my Sunday's free, and she's like, oh, is this your way of telling me that you want to see me Sunday? And I was like, yes, it is, and she's like, well, just say that. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, you're right.
Well, that's interesting because I thought Asperger's was like you would be naturally more direct. But you're
because I'm the high end of Asperger's. Yeah. So I went to therapy as a kid. I started going to therapy in elementary school.
Yeah.
Actually since like third grade, because I got kicked out of third grade, and I got sent in to continuation school, basically for being a distraction is the best way I could. I went from second grade. I went to a Chinese private Christian school.
Where Chinese? Why Chinese?
I don't know. My mom picked it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was a Chinese private Christian school. It was only 2 people in the class. Me and this black kid named Fatai Osario.
Fatai Serio?
Fatai Osario.
Osario, what a good name.
Mm-hmm.
Fatai Osario.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Hi, Lucy.
But me and him it was only 2, so we were best friends.
Yeah.
And then we had our Mexican teacher, Mr. Hernandez, who was married to a Japanese woman.
Okay.
So we were a bomb of just inclusivity.
Yeah.
It was great. It's like, and then from there I went to public school, Wana Elementary School, which is public school with 30 kids and 1 teacher. And so it's kind of like
that's a big transition.
Yeah, so it's a big transition from second grade to third grade.
Yep.
And so up until third grade, actually, I was going to different schools every year.
Because why? Just
were
you getting in trouble, or is it?
Just multitude of reasons.
Yeah. Mainly
trouble. Mainly because I wasn't diagnosed with Asperger's until I was in third grade. Mm-hmm. I was a problem child. I was loud. I needed a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I needed a lot of attention. Like even now, like I had one girl break up with me. She's like, "Blaize, you just need too much attention," and I'm like, "That's true.
Yeah,
it's true." Because you have to realize I'm a very like, woo kind of person. I can't be introverted.
Mexican cowboy.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm the Mexican cowboy.
Yeah.
So the smoking Mexican cowboy.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's like I gotta be like I need someone who can kind of balance me out. And like some people they can handle it. Some folks they can't handle it.
Yeah. There's so many. I always think I want to be in like a power couple where both of us are like eclectic and interesting, but I also think you see a lot of patterns of like one person being a little bit more out there and the other person kind of stabilizing that relationship. So I don't know. I think whatever works for you, you'll figure. What do you think is the most successful relationship you've been in? What kind of dynamic was it?
I guess in the 5-year relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the longest relationship. After that was my longest relationships were a year. Even my last relationship that I had was a year, but it kind of broke down because I wasn't good at processing my feelings. Yeah. Because the last relationship, she left for Portland because she used to work for Netflix, so she can work remotely. Yeah. So she's like, I hate LA, and so she's moving. She told me it was random, but she was like, I'm moving to Portland in 3 months. And I was like, okay. And I continued to eat brunch. I was just like, I don't know how to feel about this right now. And then at the end of that 3 months, that day, the last week, we were like fighting and arguing. And then after, we had a big fight in front of all her friends and her family. Oh, and then, which is always great. And then she left, and then we had a big fight over text. And I got so insecure about myself, and I kind of just pushed her away. Yeah. And what I realized is, most of the time it's because I feel like I'm not. The reason my relationships don't work is because I feel as if I'm not being honest enough, and and maybe and it is just my fault. It's because as men, we all have our insecurities. Yeah. I had, so like I said, one woman I just wasn't satisfied with her. Another one I wasn't properly communicating my emotions and my thought processes. And for me, like it takes me a long time to tell people things. Like for that one girl, she got upset with me because I didn't tell her that my grandmother passed until a week later. Yeah. And she's like, why didn't you tell me when it happened? I was like, because I really just wanted to deal with this in the process alone. Yeah. And it's kind of it upset me a little bit. And I was just like, I understand, like, I could have told you when it first happened. Mm-hmm. But, sometimes I just need to process things alone before I can really open up to another person.
Right, right. Well, what's great about everything you've just said is that you are owning and taking full responsibility in every one of these relationships. You're just and you're learning and you're growing, and that's the point of dating and the point of kind of all of life. I think we're here to just heal whatever shit is broken from a past life or from our childhood or whatever you believe. So I think you're doing great. Just keep
Good
doing
enough.
Just keep
Good
reflecting and
I mean, what would you say is your favorite? Like, what made your relationship successful?
I mean, I just think the fun, just having fun with a partner is that's been the best. Like I feel like I almost always pick like more athletic guys that just like want to go play. Like I love playtime and like just doing sports or doing
that sounds frisky.
Like going to games or going to skating or whatever. Like I like activities and I tend to be drawn to people who also like to do activities and play. And then I think what else? I mean, I like creative types, but I also like the more mathematical engineering types. Like I've that's been a little bit, I've just had a little variety of that. But the most consistent thing is they're all really fun. Everyone I've dated is just like, I like to hang out with them. Like I just enjoy, and conversations. Like that's a big, I talk so much. As you heard,
no, you don't.
And my name actually means listens to God. So yeah, there you go.
I think your name should mean God listens to.
That's right. You listen to me,
bitch.
So yeah, I think that I like, a lot of it is my relationship with my dad is so much based on like playing putt-putt golf or basketball or like whatever it's called together, horse.
Okay, yeah.
And then just talking. Like he was like my first kind of best friend. I'd stay up till like 3 a.m. talking with him about everything and just like, so that most of my romantic relationships have kind of emulated that dynamic. In some bad ways too, because my dad's also incredibly avoidant. So I date a lot of very avoidant men who don't. But
how do you figure that out? Like, how are these men also avoidant? Like, I find this weird. Like, I don't really think I date women like my mother that often. You know what I mean? Because I like women who are very, very blunt and like. I told my friend the other day. I think I just like Irish women.
Yeah.
I mean, just like you know, very, very like. That's just my type, I think. And he's like, because they're very just abrasive.
Irish accents are so hard to do.
Yeah.
Irish. Did I do it? Irish. Am I doing it?
That sounds more Middle Eastern.
Oh fuck yeah! Now I'm being racist. I can't. I'm allowed to be Irish, but I don't think I'm allowed to be Middle Eastern. I don't know what the rules are.
Who cares?
I'm gonna break them though.
Probably. Who cares anymore? Like this cancel culture isn't real.
It isn't. Okay, good. I'm not canceled. Yeah. Once everyone's canceled, we're all just in it together.
We're all in it together. Like fuck it. You're canceled. It's like.
But some people I wish were genuinely canceled. Like I wish Louis C.K. Here's what I wish. I don't wish we would cancel people. I wish people would just authentically apologize. I wish people would do what you just did about all of your relationships. Own your shit. Yeah. Just say, you know what? I could have been a better communicator. You know what? I could have not raped somebody. Like, it's so easy. Yeah. It's so easy not to rape people. So, yeah, I just... it's sick. I wish people could just admit their stuff. Yeah. Like, you know, I admit that I was a little bit crazy in my last relationship.
A little bit or a lot of it?
A lot of it. I threw scissors at my...
No!
Fiance. Yeah.
No.
I didn't actually try to hit... I mean, first of all, I didn't hit him because I missed. But I didn't actually try to hit him. I just had I happened to have the scissors and I was just... I get so angry that I just, like, need physically to, like, express it somehow. But I wasn't directing the scissors at him. I just happened to have scissors and then I threw them across the room. See? Very opposite direction of him. But still funny to say I threw them at him.
Yeah, I would say that you don't need to go to CrossFit. What you need to do is you need to go to like an MMA gym, or you need to go to honestly.
I need to go to a break room. That's what I really want to find, just a place to break shit. Because that's so sensational when you have so much anger and you're just like, I gotta just.
You just need to just attack. You are just an aggressive soul, but it's okay. We still love you, Sam.
Can you tell I'm aggressive? Really? I'm a fire soul. Mm-hmm. What do you know about things about signs, about astrology? Are you good at that stuff?
No. All I know is my birthday is October 5th, and I'm a Libra.
That's soon. Hey, yes. Like a month away. What are you going to do for your birthday?
K-Town, karaoke, and Korean barbecue.
Okay. That's racist as fuck. You just did KKK. You hear that? Did you hear yourself?
I know.
This podcast, you guys know?
We've talked about this multiple times on the podcast. So
messed up.
But it's in Korea.
I'm telling Charlie.
He already knows he's going to be there.
He's a black man that hates black men. Is that what it is? In the KKK? He's like that Dave Chappelle sketch?
Yeah. Was it Clayton Bigsby?
Well, yeah.
Clayton Bigsby.
Oh, so long ago.
It's great. I love it. I watched it like last week. But now it ended up being a KKK.
Are you turning 30?
Yes.
Oh, that's a big year. I'll try to go.
Yes. So it's going to be on a Saturday.
I just invited myself.
You did. It's okay. I was going to invite you anyways. Cool. You're invited. Everyone's just, we have video proof that she's invited.
Video proof that I was invited. I invited myself first, but he had it in mind.
He had it in mind. I was going to invite her.
How much time do we have left? I got to take a
You can take as long as you want. But we've been here for about 44 minutes. So,
and you want it to be like an hour?
Right now it's fine. This has been a great podcast.
This has been great, man.
Yes, but
oh my gosh.
Yes, this has been Sam. So Sam, tell people where they can find you, anything that you usually do, like any. Oh, you have a podcast, right?
Oh yeah. So here's the thing. Here's what I need. I need help producing my podcast. I started this podcast 7 years ago. Something.
Nice.
2017. What is that? 7 years ago.
5 years ago.
7. Wait. 2017 is. Oh, you're right. 5. Oh, that's good. All right. So it's called the Sleep with Sam Howard Show because I have narcolepsy. It's real fun. I interview people in my bed. We talk about sleep stuff and just life. And then the Lullaby Lounge lulls us to sleep with a custom lullaby.
Okay.
And we take a little nap together, and it's so sweet and just lovely. But it's just a lot of work to produce, and I have a kid and all these things. So I have narcolepsy, and I need to sleep like 14 hours a day. Like most of my day is just sleeping.
You're basically a panda.
I'm pretty much a panda. Oh, how cute! I love pandas. I used to have a panda stuffed animal that my great grandma Gigi got me. Which I gotta tell you a story. My grandma Gigi is actually my grandma Harshbarger is her last name, but we called her Gigi. And I didn't know that was not her name. I thought it was just her name. That's why we said it. And then my boyfriend in second grade, Jimmy Beck, he told me he had a grandma Gigi. So I broke up with him because I thought we were related. And then we realized that we're not. It's just a nickname.
I have
like Nana or whatever people do.
Yeah, I have one of my aunts. Her name is Tia Chichi.
Tia Chichi.
Yeah, and and it's funny because I was like, I saw her again. I didn't see her for a few years. I saw her I was like 6, 7, and then I didn't see her again until I was like 14, 15. And I said, "Oh, Tia Chichi, ¿cómo estás?" And everyone started laughing. It's like that's her real name. I was like, "Well, that's what she's known as." So just every time I saw her, it's Chichi.
Yeah.
And so that's how it is. But yeah,
so you can find me you can follow the Sleep with Sam Howard show, or it's called Sleep with Sam Howard. Actually, find me on Venmo and just give me some money so I can hire some good people to make it professional. And then I'm on Instagram at I'm Sam Howard, Facebook I'm Sam Howard, Twitter I'm Sam Howard.
Nice.
Website I'mSamHoward.com.
I'm Sam Howard, so she is Sam Howard. She's basically I am Sam Howard.
But it's not I am. That's the thing. Someone else took I am Sam Howard at Gmail, so now I just do I'm. Without the apostrophe. I'm.
So I'm Sam
letter
Howard.
I, letter M, Sam Howard.
This reminds me of the movie I Am Sam.
That's right.
I forgot to tell you, I actually have insomnia as well. So
part of narcolepsy is insomnia.
Yeah. So
basically, it's like a light switch is flicking off and on, and my brain doesn't know if
Sam,
I'm awake or asleep.
I'm telling you, that we are literally
we're the same.
We're parallel.
That's why we did that back-to-back photo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
that's
same
what
person.
The parallel universes. This is my long-lost twin sister, I am Sam Howard.
Twinning.
Or I'm Sam Howard. I'm Blaize, and thank you. Take care, y'all.
Bye.